Race in the MCE Insurance British Superbike Championship of 2013 in conjunction with Pirelli. And on the front row of the grid, as you've already seen, the same tyre choice by the two main protagonists, and right between them Josh Brooks. The only difference, he's gone for an intermediate front tyre, though for a moment the way he was talking to James Whittam on the grid, I thought he might have gone for an all-round slick combo. I've just heard on the way back into the comms booth, Josh Waters full slicks back and front, and now to me that's a mistake, because it may be the right tyre to have at the end, but you've got to stop on the bike until you get to that point, and well, I definitely wouldn't. Good luck to him, I'd say. Alex Lowes, the explosive Lincolnshireman, leads the way. The 22-year-old Alex Lowes now has a 3-point lead in the championship after yesterday's race, ahead of Shaky Byrne on the Rapid Solicitors Kawasaki. Josh Brooks, Taiko Suzuki race winner yesterday, is third. James Ellison, victim of misting visors on the Milwaukee Yamaha, is fourth. James Westmoreland fifth. Yuichi Kianari is absent, injured. John Kirkham in seventh place still has an 11-point advantage over Tommy Bridewell in eighth. PJ Jacobson, who was strong yesterday, 6 points further back in ninth. Chris Walker's Quattro Plant Kawasaki in 10th place. 11th for Peter Hickman on the Lloyd's British GB Moto Honda, ahead of Keith Farmer and Josh Waters. Now 13th, Dan Linfoot 14th. Jakob Smertz on the Paget's Honda in 15th, ahead of Howie Mainwaring, Matteo Baiocco, Michael Rutter, Barry Burrell and Lee Costello, who had his best race result of the year yesterday. Alex Lowes is in on pole position ahead of Josh Brooks and Shaky Byrne. The second row of the grid headed by Noriyuki Haga, who put in some scalding late laps yesterday, Chris Walker and James Westmoreland. The third row of the grid, Josh Waters on the Halsall Racing Kawasaki, fourth yesterday, ahead of Tommy Bridewell and PJ Jacobson. Row 4, Freddie Foray, the double world endurance champion, standing in for Kianari at Samsung Honda, ahead of Michael Rutter and Dan Linfoot. It's been declared a wet race, so these guys go with what they've got on. There's the two teammates, number 78, Freddie Foray, the 29-year-old Frenchman, number 22, the just-turned 23-year-old Alex Lowes. Josh Brooks won yesterday, fell in the closing stages of warm-up this morning. Shaky Byrne, the tension in that Kawasaki garage as he walked out was palpable. You can see a few people doing burnouts on the line. That's just to try and get a little bit of heat into the middle of the rear tyre. That's just and you see how Josh Brooks says, just testing, see how much grip he's got. You don't want to dump the clutch and spin it up, you go nowhere. Alex Lowes pointing straight ahead on pole position on the right. No early apex into paddock for him. He's just going for an absolute Santa Pod getaway. But look at Nori Haga. Haga bursts through into the front three, but then just backs off and allows Shaky Byrne to get the whole shot ahead of Alex Lowes on the blue Samsung Honda. James Westmoreland also gets a brilliant start and buried in the pack as Westmoreland shoots to the front and really took a big, brave move up Halewood Hill on the Bill-based BMW. Lowes is gone! Lowes is down! Alex Lowes has crashed coming out of Druids on the first lap. Alex Lowes has gone down. He throws his arms up in disbelief. He can't restart the race. That is him done. Ellison amazingly leads it. Westmoreland second, Haga, Byrne. But what about Alex Lowes? What on earth happened there? Right, I think it's fair. We'll see it again, but I think, oh, here we go. We'll have another look. We're looking back. It's Josh Brooks. He had a little bit of a coming together with Josh Brooks. You can't apportion blame. No, but that was what happened. The two of them just went for the same line. Here it is in super slow-mo. Oh, what's happened? He's gone down completely on his own there. Was that after there was a little bit of contact? There was a little bit of contact, then he went down afterwards, yeah. No, I don't think he can, yeah. Poor old Alex, that's devastating to lose a championship like that. Alex Lowes, who was being spoken to, of course, the last person to speak to me was always Kurt Gibbon, his trainer and mentor, really. He said he wouldn't let me know what he'd said to him, whispered in his ear before he left, but there you go. That was, it hasn't worked out for them. Here we go. So what we've got, suffice to say, it will be the riders with the full wets front and rear who are going quick now. That's Ellison, Westmoreland and Costello. We can virtually be assured they've got wets back and front. So, and look at Howie Mainwaring. He's obviously got some pretty sound wets on as well. He moves through there, picks a place up. So Mainwaring moves past Chris Walker into 8th place, and then straight on past Byrne into 7th up Haywood Hill. Yeah, you're right, Jay. So that must be a full wet combo then.
Yeah, but we know that Shaky Byrne has a wet on the front and intermediate on the rear. That's going to take a little bit of time to get going and should come into its own should a drier line appear around the circuit, which it will.
And look at Matteo Baiocco on the Speedo Sport Racing Panigale, number 15, the double Italian champion, has moved through now into about 5th place. So it's all topsy-turvy depending on the tyres people have got on. And at the front, Ellison surged off to the front, Westmoreland in 2nd place, Lee Costello there from Bolton, his best result yesterday in 3rd place. Shaky Byrne 6.29, Alex Lowe's 6.23. That's the difference at the moment, because Shaky is relatively downfield in about 7th or 8th place. The leader, Ellison, 2nd, Westmoreland, 3rd, Lee Costello, once again running up front for Halsell Racing Kawasaki in dodgy conditions. Now, James, if these guys could make enough ground at this point, as Josh Brooks told you he intended to do yesterday, then that could make all the difference.
I feel so sorry for Alex to lose a championship like that. He's just...
It's not lost yet, James.
I know it's not lost, but I'm saying, if he doesn't win it, look, here we go. I don't think there's any contact there between Josh Brooks on the inside and Alex Lowe's. The man who got away with it there was Costello on the Halsell bike.
Yeah.
Actually lucky not to get clobbered by the following pack as well with Alex. And his bike.
That was. Look at the two Batham's Hondas fanning out. Danny de Boer to the outside, Michael Rutter to the inside to avoid both rider and bike. Yep. Meanwhile, what is going on? Chris Walker is already making progress, as you might expect in these conditions.
Yep.
There is Walker. He's nudged through ahead of Shaky Byrne. Now Dan Linfoot is right in there behind Shaky Byrne. So too is PJ Jacobson. That is pretty much the top 10. But Shaky Byrne, there is PJ Jacobson just getting a sniff on the inside, moving through it. Oh, but not managing to make the turn inside Dan Linfoot.
Yeah, always a good note to yourself.
At the front, it's Ellison, Westmoreland, Costello. James, they had 10 seconds up the road, and then it's Matteo Baiocco 4th, Brooks and Hager.
They've got wets on, and you would go quicker initially. You wouldn't be scared of going over the wet bits of the track. We can see it's completely dry there. But
look at Howie.
Yeah, he's got wets on, I'll guarantee it. However, you have no idea how much grip you will lose when those wets tear to bits. It's not dangerous, you won't throw it up the road, but you just won't be able to get the traction out the corners. You'll lose 2 seconds out of each corner. That's what'll happen. This race depends on how much it dries. Simple.
Yeah. And at the moment, we simply don't know that. There's Howie Mainwaring on the back of that group. And then Chris Walker here. Shaky Byrne, currently the championship leader at this stage in proceedings, with Dan Linfoot on the Lloyd's British GB Motor Honda right behind him, and also pressing there PJ Jacobson, the pint-sized New Yorker.
Hang on, yellow flags at Clearways. Somebody's off.
There's been a faller at Clearways. Is it West? It's Hager. Hager, who's got history there. Remember back in his first visit to Brands Hatch in World Superbikes when he had a massive high side. Oh, and he's done it again.
Yep, it's very similar.
And landed virtually on his head. Nasty fall there for the veteran 38-year-old former runner-up in the World Superbike Championship.
Still bounce as well. All the crashes he's had, he's only ever broken one bone.
Matteo Baiocco there running in 4th place now for the Rapido Sport Racing Ducati team. What a result for the 2011 and 2012 Italian Superbike champion. He's 12 seconds behind James Ellison. Ellison running at the front. Lee Costello, could he lead a race for Halsell Racing Kawasaki? Look at the burly little fella from Bolton is right there behind Kendall's James Ellison on the Milwaukee Yamaha.
Well, he ain't going to be, he ain't going to need much of an invitation, I'll tell you. If he can lead it, he will.
Wow. What a fascinating race. We're only on the 4th of 20 laps, and there it is time to discuss what's gone on in the garage there for Alex Lowe's, in the Samsung Honda garage. Obviously a rather dejected garage at the moment, but unless Shaky Byrne can pick things up a bit, then it's still going to be tight into the final race later this afternoon. Lee Costello looking for a way past the Milwaukee Yamaha as they drive out of the Clark Curve onto the Brabham Straight. Completing the 4th lap of 20, 1/5 race distance. Lee goes for the early apex, and he leads a championship race in his rookie season. Lee Costello.
He's gone wide now.
Oh, and then Ellison retakes it, so a brief moment of glory there for Costello.
He's going again. Ellison's straight on.
He hooks it back, but now first and second will be Costello and Westmoreland. James Westmoreland at number 27 with that conspicuous yellow helmet. He's on the build-based BMW. So now we've got Kawasaki, BMW, Yamaha running at the front. Lee Costello leading a British Superbike race here at Brandside. Here's Linfoot. He's squeezed past Shaky Byrne, who now has PJ Jacobson for company. Somewhere up front, Biocco in fourth. Brooks, James, running with...
and someone's off. That could be
Druids.
Waters,
That might be Josh Waters.
Yeah.
No, it's Tommy Bridewell.
It's Bridewell.
It's Bridewell on the Milwaukee Yamaha.
Yeah.
So Bridewell drops it at Druids.
Yeah, look, intermediate on the back for Bridewell.
He was running in 13th place. Number 9, Chris Walker, Quattro Plant Kawasaki, escaping from number 4. Dan Linfoot, the North Yorkshireman, just leads local boy Shaky Byrne, who needs as many points as he can grab in this race. Meanwhile, at the front, this is the battle involving Shaky. PJ Jacobson looks to have the determination and confidence to attack the current championship leader. At this stage in the race, we're on the 5th of 20 laps. This is going to be a huge unfolding story, this race.
Yeah, it is.
Battle for 9th place.
Shane Byrne needs to capitalise on Alex Low's going out, and that's quite an obvious thing to say, but I mean, yeah, 3 points still in the lead of this championship before the result of this race is Alex Low's, so it's still open.
PJ Jacobson was looking underneath as they went through clearways and easily gets the better of Shaky Byrne. Shane's tyres are going to have to start coming into play at some point.
They are.
Right now, I'm looking at the leader, Lee Costello's gone through. So that's 1/4 race distance, 5 laps complete. Westmoreland, Ellison, Brooks having a strong ride just ahead of Biocco. Look at Biocco hunting down the Australian.
Right, look at the timing screen. Top 3 on yellows, they're down to 38. They're going slower, and look at everybody else on the intermediates are actually setting their quickest laps every lap. Although they're not equal yet.
Well spotted, James. And Shaky Byrne's gone down. Shaky Byrne's fallen. Wow. Oh, and has he done that coming out of Druids?
I think it is.
Oh, he limps away. What happened to Shaky? He's already lost out to PJ Jacobson.
It'll be the rear that goes.
It's gone. Oh, Shane. So the 36-year-old from just up the road in Sittingbourne has lost that points advantage he had, and we're back to a 3-point deficit as he goes into the final race of the season.
Can you believe this? And it's that rear intermediate on one of the wettest parts of the track that's let go. I mean, the only good news there is it didn't flip him over the top. When it re-gripped, it didn't grip.
So Shaky Byrne, disconsolate 3-time and reigning champion, trudges off, having fallen at the same spot as on the first lap did his rival Alex Lowe. So neither of them are in this race. Costello leads it from Westmoreland and Ellison.
You couldn't script this, could you?
No. Lee Costello at the moment pulling away. The 26-year-old on the Halsell Racing Kawasaki, the civil engineer from Bolton, leads the way. Whoa, and a mistake by James Westmoreland. And this time it's Ellison, his namesake, who moves through and clips back into second place down the hill. So these guys riding on full wets have a huge advantage at the moment of about 19 seconds over Josh Brooks, who is a couple of seconds clear of Matteo Biocco on the Ducati.
Yeah, this all depends how much it dries, you know, because you're looking now, Brooks, we know, is on intermediates front and rear, and he's now almost as quick as the leading 3 and setting his quickest lap. Every lap.
Right, so Brooks could just have done the right thing here. Now, yeah, he went for the intermediate front as well, James, which is beginning to look like a sound choice because it keeps on drying.
Well, do you know, it's a sound choice, yes, if you're careful enough and kind of controlled enough to stay on the bike when you've got the... It's easy to put slicks on and crash on wet.
But he felt that was a strength of his after yesterday's race. That he very much made that work.
That's
that might be Jamie Poole, I think. Oh, it's number 37, David Lenort, the 22-year-old Austrian who stepped in on a kind of one-off ride with the Motordex Spearmint Rhino BMW team. right racing so far in World Supersport.
Look at this.
Now at the front, Costello. What a ride. Martin Halsel's faith in this young man is certainly being repaid big time in the closing stages of the series.
You know, mine Halsel says I've been up all night doing the rain dance.
Leading the way, 39, Lee Costello. Behind him, James Ellison and James Westmoreland. We're still waiting for Josh Brooks. The Australian will be crossing the line, well, any moment now, perhaps. 19.8 seconds. He is getting faster, 1:37.6. But the fastest man ahead of him there was Ellison, 1:37.29. It's not making enough difference. Yes, Shaky Byrne can only watch on and know that he goes into the final race of the series 3 points down on Alex Lowes. James, what I was really aware of as I watched Shane come out of the garage was for all the kind of warm-hearted pats on the back and quiet words in the ear, as he stepped on the motorbike, that's suddenly a very lonely place to be. It's all down to you and what you do out there.
Absolutely, yeah. And when your visor, somebody else off.
Josh Waters.
Josh Waters.
Oh, well, Josh Waters having a strong ride. He moved into 10th place, 1:37.2. I think he was on slicks, James?
Full slicks. Did well to stop on it as long as he did, to be honest, did the lad.
So one of the Halsel Racing Kawasaki's goes down. A head shake from the double Australian champion. We have national champions all over the place in this championship. But what we're looking for is the next British Superbike champion. 4th
yesterday. Still a good weekend for the Australian.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Costello, his teammate, still leads the way. Ellison beginning to claw him back now after that mistake at the top of Halewood Hill.
Yeah, Ellison's on a good run of laps here, 37.2 last time round.
Look at this, number 39, Lee Costello, Preston District single-cylinder champion back in 2003, 10 years ago as a 16-year-old.
Sound like a plumber.
Well, plumbing was probably part of his apprenticeship as a civil engineer, as he goes round Druids with James Ellison, 1:37.4, actually identical times on that particular lap, and Brooks just about managing to match them at the moment, but 19 seconds back down the road. So there you've got to get, this is what the fastest lap classification looks like for race 2. This is how you'd, good Lord, Lee Costello could set off on pole position for the second race of the afternoon at the moment as it stands, ahead of his teammate Waters and Westmoreland. James Ellison would head up row 2 ahead of Josh Brooks and Carl Harris. Dan Linfoot, Chris Walker, PJ Jacobson would be on row 3. And then on row 4, you'd get John Kirkham, Jakob Smertz and Freddie Foray. Notice we haven't reached the main men yet. Howie Mainwaring, Tommy Bridewell, Aaron Zanotti on the Stell Suzuki. And then Matteo Baiocco, Danny DeBoer and Shane Byrne in 18th place. Shaky Byrne will be 19th place because Alex Lowes actually starts in 9th place because he didn't complete a lap.
Yeah, what
so his grid position is race 2 plus 9 places. Plus 8 places.
Yeah, that's it. Because he didn't complete a lap to put a lap in this race.
James, can I just say it seems kind of slightly unfair because Shaky's back down in 19th.
I know, yeah.
So it's going to be a huge advantage for Alex as they go into that final race. At the moment, the man with the huge advantage, well, 1.3 second advantage, Lee Costello leads the way. He's just set the fastest lap of the race on a 36.58. So Costello, a gritty ride, capable. He hasn't put a wheel out of nothing yet.
I can't tell you what a good ride this is.
Touch wood. Ellison, Westmoreland, Brooks, still 20 seconds back, James. It's not kicking in yet, any advantage with those intermediate tyres. A 1:37.5. There is Josh Brooks. He's running in and obviously having to be careful with intermediates front and rear.
Yep.
It's not yet dry enough for him to really take advantage. Chris Walker in 5th place is another 9 seconds down the road. And then just behind him, the battle with Dan Linfoot, Howie Mainwaring, PJ Jacobson. Howie Mainwaring, number 43, where on the Qingdao WK Bikes Kawasaki, just getting eaten up there by Jacobson. Whoa, Dan Linfoot runs way wide at John Surtees and can't do anything about it. He has to pull the bike back and will drop back to 8th place.
What a ride from Costello. He'll be riding on a mixture of meat pies and adrenaline now.
And disbelief, incredulity. What am I doing here?
What a good lad he is as well.
So Lee Costello leads the way as Dan Linfoot immediately responds and moves back inside Howie Mainwaring. So a sound ride for Lloyd's British GB Moto rider there on the Honda. Number 4, Dan Linfoot, a man with huge amounts of experience in 250 GPs, in European Superstock 600s.
There's the man, number 39, Lee Costello. I'll tell you what I want. If we've got a camera in pit lane, please go and find Martin Halsell, because I wonder what state he's in at the minute.
Well, these guys, well,
there he is.
Just holding his breath.
Very calm. Brooks is now the fastest man on track, 36.3. This is what I expected. It's just how quick it happens. You know what I mean, Jack?
It's no time for it. We're on the 11th lap of 20, Jay, so we just hit half distance. 10 laps complete.
It's 20 seconds that Brooks needs to pull back on Costello. He's going to go quicker and quicker and quicker, is Brooks. However, that's a big deficit.
So right now, then, we've got Costello leading. Look at further down. I saw 13th place there, Freddie Foray, Aaron Zanotti in 14th. Danny De Boer is the final point scorer on the Batham's Honda. He's about 4 places ahead of his teammate Michael Rutter.
Cinderella Costello.
And the Cinderella, he's going to get the glass slippers at this rate. I wonder if he'll race in them in the second race.
Mate, I'll tell you what, say what you want, you have to ride the bike. It's sometimes more difficult in these conditions not to make a stupid mistake when you're in his position for the first time, remember?
Yeah, good. So having to set his own pace and sort out, you know, how fast he can go in these conditions. At the moment, he and Ellison very, very evenly matched at the front. As he comes round to complete the 11th lap, then check the screens as he crosses the line, and that one is another fastest lap of the race. 36.3, 36.56 for Ellison, and a 37.6 for James Westmoreland, just beginning to drop back in 3rd place. 136.3. Josh Brooks yet to come across the line, of course. He could well counteract that. His last 3.8. So he's running very... of the man from the Czech Republic. So that's 9th place taken by Kirkham off Jakob Smerts, former runner-up, of course, in World Superbike races, and a top contender in 250 Grand Prix as well back in the day. Did Chris Said put intermediates on, James? He did, didn't he?
He's got intermediates, yeah.
So I wonder what...
It's difficult to tell. Sometimes you can tell when a wet's completely falling apart. You can see it even on screen when it's spinning around.
Do you think they might have gone for slicks and therefore be getting quicker as this tarmac dries?
Yeah, you'd be a brave man to go on slicks. Either that or stupid.
Well, neither of them are that. Costello then completes his 12th lap. He's 1.2 seconds ahead of Ellison, who was that bit quicker than him, was half a second quicker than him on that lap. So tantalising at the front.
Here we go. Fastest man on track was Brooks, now Jacobsen. So we can assume that Jacobsen has intermediates, 35.7. Your leader Costello maintaining it at 37 flat.
He was only 100th quicker than his teammate. And I think Charlie Hiscott has caught up with Alex Lowes down in pit lane. Charlie.
Alex, what happened? Did you tangle with Josh Brooks?
Yeah, I got an okay start. I was second into the first corner. Obviously, I had an intermediate in the rear, and it's a little bit damp, so I didn't really know what to do. I went around the second corner, and the guys on wet sort of caught the inside, so I obviously got nudged a little bit wide, and then as I came out on the exit of Joyce, Josh just hit my bars and just went down. So, yeah, it wasn't my fault, really. I didn't really do anything wrong. It's, I suppose it's one of them things when the conditions are like that, but hey, it's unfortunately for Shaky, Craig Shaky's all right, and he was down to last race of the year. But no, I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm not annoyed at myself. Like I said, I can only do. I can't get annoyed at things that are out of my control. All I can do is focus now and enjoy the last race.
What are you going to do for the next couple of hours?
Have a bit of dinner, watch some races, and enjoy it.
Thanks, Alex.
What a wonderful Lincolnshire spirit from the former electrician there. Alex Lowes, who'll be heading off to the MotoGP paddock next year, would like to go there, obviously, as MCE Insurance British Superbike champion. Well, he's still 3 points in the lead at the end of this race, as we watch PJ Jacobson closing down now on the another happy-go-lucky man, the veteran Chris Walker on the Quattro Plant Kawasaki.
Brooks is now lapping 2 seconds, a full 2 seconds quicker than, well, about 2 3/4 quicker than Costello and Ellison in the lead. Actually, Ellison's going good here. Ellison's a second quicker than Costello. It must be fairly tight at the front now.
It was down to just about 3/10 of a second. So, yes, it's getting very close at the front. Lee Costello on the Halsall Racing Kawasaki as we watch Walker, Jacobson and Linfoot. There you see Costello just ahead of Ellison and Westmoreland, Josh Brooks, Chris Walker and PJ Jacobson. They are the top 6.
2/3 distance completed. It'll be a result if it gets stopped now. Costello will be thinking, oh, just stop it.
Stop it. Just stop it now. And there is Lee Costello with James Ellison now breathing down his neck. He'll be feeling that Cumbrian breath. And James Ellison, after a bit of a nightmare weekend with misted up visors of all things in both qualifying and yesterday's race, is now getting a sniff of a possible victory. Lee Costello about to complete the 14th of his 20 laps. He still leads the way, as he has done from very, very early on in the race. Ellison, Milwaukee Yamaha in second place. Westmoreland's dropped way back from this gang, even though, in fact, he lapped almost as quick on the last lap on the build-based BMWs, about 7 seconds down the road. And Josh Brooks surely will be thinking he could get a podium out of this.
Yeah, and Costello knows Ellison's there. He's back into the 36s, the pair of them 36.3. Brooks into the 34s now. That's 2 seconds quicker than these guys. It's the tyres that are making the difference. And I'm not sure Ellison's got intermediates as well, you know. If he has, he's done well to stay on the bike as long as he hasn't got this pace.
He just chopped his way through into the lead. Then James Ellison on the Milwaukee Yamaha, then the Cumbrian former European Superstock 1000 and World Endurance champ moves through into the lead ahead of Lee Costello. And that thundering cross-plane R1 Yamaha drops down Pilgrim's Drop, surges up to Hawthorns Hill. Now, is there anything that Lee Costello could do about it on the Kawasaki number 39? Westmoreland is now still 7 seconds behind. Brooks 16.5 seconds now behind the leaders. And then Walker, Jacobson, Linfoot, Kirkham, Smertz, Mainwaring, Foray, Zanotti round out the top 12. Good ride for Aaron Zanotti.
Yeah, it is.
And James Ellison moves back into 3rd place in the championship ahead of Josh Brooks, currently running 4th in this race. But Alex Lowes and Shaky Byrne, of course, will remain that 3 points apart as they go into the final race of the day later in this afternoon.
Battle for 5th, Walker, Jacobson, Linfoot. Linfoot's going quicker than Walker and Jacobson, actually.
So Dan Linfoot, whose dad Craig was a club racer in the 70s on an RG 500.
Man's bike.
A man's bike, yeah. And he tends to come to the meetings on Aprilia Tuono he rides at the moment. Dan Linfoot then on the distinctive purple and white GB Moto Honda, clinging onto these two as we watch Lee Costello back to the front. Well done. Lee Costello getting to the front once again, retakes James Ellison. That's superb on the 16th of 20 laps. Lee Costello and well, the Bolton Bullet has retaken the lead off James Ellison. What a remarkable performance by Costello on the Halsall Racing Kawasaki.
Isn't it? Look at Costello's bike. The thing's moving around everywhere. This is up at Druids.
Oh, Ellison a bit
mistake.
wide.
Yeah, it was. Mistake. He got onto the damp part of the track and couldn't lean it over. Look at that. That's a Halsall Racing garage. And that's Martin at the front. Fantastic.
Calm down, son. Calm down, he's saying. That'll be a difficult one to achieve on the 16th of 20 laps.
Bring the pros up.
3/4 race distance. And at the moment, Lee Costello still has that advantage. Wow, this would be the biggest early birthday present you could imagine. He turns 27 on the 23rd of this month. And Lee Costello has the lead back in his sights. He has the race win back in his sights. Ellison, no, not finished yet in 2nd place. Westmoreland running in 3rd. Brooks setting fastest lap after fastest lap. He'll be on pole position for the final race of the series this afternoon as he tries to claw his way back to 3rd place in his battle with Ellison for 3rd in the championship. So Costello, Ellison, Westmoreland, they're on to their 17th laps. Brooks.
Get this, he's back to 10 seconds now, the leader back to Brooks, and Brooks lapping over nearly 3 seconds a lap quicker than these guys. And these guys will probably get slower as their wets wear out and they can't get the traction out of the corners. And as the track dries out, Brooks will likely go quicker than that.
He could get very close.
It's just when it comes, this was going to happen. It's just how quick it happened, Jack. You've got to gauge that.
A lot will depend, James, on how quickly he manages to make the moves when he gets the opportunity.
Just look how difficult it is now for Costello and Ellison coming out of corners. They're trying to get the power down, the backs are spinning up, kicking sideways, and they're going to be losing side grip in the faster corners as well. The bike will be trying to slide as they lean over as well.
So much will depend on how well these guys deal with these deteriorating tyres at the moment. We've got Westmoreland in 3rd place, Brooks with that fastest lap of the race, 1:34.294, running 4th ahead of Walker, Jacobson, Linfoot, still in that order, with Walker, sterling work fighting off Jacobson and Linfoot. The leader is number 39, Lee Costello. Ellison hounding him now on the 17th of 20 laps.
Reminds me of a 500 GP at Hungaroring, and 17 seconds with about 3 or 4 laps to go. Lawson won it, having set off on slicks on a wet track.
Frankie Killy against Regis Laconi. We were there at Misano in 2004 when he came from outside the points to snatch a last lap win. What could he yet win? There is Westmoreland, and in 4th place we've got Brooks storming through now at 1:33.72. The first man underneath the 1:34s. So the 30-year-old Australian from Bringelly in the suburbs of Sydney, he's headed home on Thursday, and the first thing he's got to do is go and get his suit measured up to be best man at his mate's wedding.
Never mind about that. Just look at the time, 6 seconds behind. We've got 3 to go, including this one, and he's going about 3 seconds quicker. It's going to be close, but I don't think he's got enough time. Good call on the tyres, though. Another 2 laps, he'd have done it.
Yeah, it just took more than half race distance for it to begin to swing into his advantage.
It just didn't dry quick enough for him.
So Walker, Jacobson, Linfoot still having their tear up. Oh, Linfoot's dropped off the back of them. It's Walker and Jacobson together. But look at number 2, Josh Brooks. On the Taiko Suzuki, the Australian plunges down Pilgrim's Drop and eating up the... Oh, and there's the leaders. They're not that far ahead of him. So there's Westmoreland.
The thing is about Brooks, he cannot waste any time at all getting past Westmoreland. He must get past him exactly where he catches him. If he loses a second getting past him, he's doomed. He's not going to win this.
Down Dingle Dell. Here are the leaders. We've got a back marker coming up. There are the 2 leaders going through picture. Another back marker, and then the battle now for 3rd place. Number 2, Josh Brooks, catching up, a sliding and squirrely looking James Westmoreland on the Bill-Base BMW. Brooks tries to get back, but it was quite damp at that point. His tyres wouldn't help him at that point. Now, as he comes out into the open, they'll work a bit better for him. As he hits the dry line, drives underneath Westmoreland, through into 3rd place. As he crosses the line now, let's check the gap. It has shrunk to 4.99 seconds. Give it 5.
Hang on. Yes, with 2.5 seconds left, this is going to be so close, I cannot even tell you, Jack.
1:33.3, another fastest lap on that last as Brooks carves through the back markers. There are the leaders coming out of Druids as he enters Druids. Costello still has the advantage on the Halsall Racing Kawasaki.
Ellison and Costello cannot go any quicker. They cannot get the traction out of the corners. They're now losing side grip in the faster corners, at least, when they've got a lot of centrifugal force pushing sideways on them. They will not go any quicker now.
They're riding a... Really prodigious racers, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
In these conditions. And look at them on the wet side of the track.
Well, you know what they're trying to do with that? They're trying to cool their tyres down so that when they get... Look, see, that's good riding from Costello. He knows what he's doing. He just doesn't... He's not going to have the tools to do anything about it if Brooks can catch him.
But at the moment, Brooks is he's not cut the distance far enough. He's coming onto the Minter Straight as they depart. Can he cut anything out of that 5-second advantage?
He'll be able to smell them now from there.
And we know what those blue eyes will be blazing behind Josh Brooks's RI helmet at the moment as the leaders drop through into Sterling's. What an immaculate ride by this Halsall Racing's Lee Costello, still leading the way. You
couldn't script this, and in a way they're both perfectly right with the tyre choice, because it's worked out almost exactly the same time.
And there are the 2 leaders. Now they're on the dry line. So too will be Josh Brooks. Oh, he's got a lot to do.
Yeah, he has a lot to do. He has a lot to do.
As he storms across the line, Costello at 1:35.8.
Oh, look at that! Fastest
1:33.1. The gap down to 2.2 seconds. He's just a lap shy. I'm sure he might be a lap shy.
And these guys are really digging it out because they put their fastest laps in tyres that are completely falling apart now.
That's incredible. Yeah, 135.8,
He's there. He's there. He hasn't given up on this.
Brooks could certainly get second. He's in a battle with James Ellison for third place in the championship at the end of today. There are the three leaders. Brooks has made up almost 21
Brooks might win this. Brooks might win this. He's going to get mega drive out of this corner onto the straight. Look, sticking onto that dry line. Come on. This is a... Oh, don't get in the way. Do not get in the way because Brooks needs the dry line. Brooks needs the dry line.
And he surges down Pilgrim's Drop. He's right with Ellison.
I'll tell you what, he's going to win it. Brooks will win this.
He comes round onto the Minter straight. He gets underneath James Ellison as they drive down.
He's going to win this.
And in Westfield, Lee Costello, is he going to be a sitting duck as they drop down? It'll still be damp in Dingledell.
There's nothing that Costello can do about this. Brooks is going to win it. I will guarantee that.
Josh Brooks, is he about to win his fourth race and do the double here? He risks the wetter track. He can't do that. Costello has the advantage into Stirling's. Now, can he keep the dry? But when they hit the dry line as they come through Clearways onto the Clark curve, surely Josh Brooks lines himself up.
No,
Costello bravely chops across the front of the Tango Suzuki. He's gone wide. Oh, Brooks cuts back underneath him. Brooks takes the win for Tango Suzuki. And from an absolutely courageous Lee Costello, third place for James Ellison, an absolute exaltation in the Halsall Racing Kawasaki camp. And Martin's up there. He'll want to be up on pit. He is up on the pit wall. Lee Costello, absolute joy for that second place. Congratulations from Ellison to Brooks. What a tyre choice.
How excited you want it.
And how good were the first 10 laps he rolled, just keeping within himself.
That's the point. If you go with the dry air tyres on a wet track, knowing it's going to come right, you've got to stay on the back, and that we've seen that from from Byrne and from Lowe's. What a ride from Brooks, that classy ride.
James Westmoreland, fourth, ahead of Walker, Jacobson and Linfoot. Kirkham crosses the line in 8th place, but meanwhile there's absolute joy all around in the pit lane. What about this lad?
I'll tell you what,
he'll be back at work tomorrow.
Costello did well there, considering he's on wets, and he put his fastest lap in with a lap to go. That is some effort on a dry track.
So the best result yet for this man, Martin Halsall, and his Halsall Racing team. The local businessman who came to watch Alton Park in 2011 and bought Lee Costello at Kawasaki because he liked what he saw. And they've built that little team up very quickly from there. But what about this? Philip and Hector Neal's Tyco Suzuki team. Josh Brooks, the 30-year-old Australian, has now taken 2 out of 3 races here at Brands Hatch and doubled his race win tally during the season.
You have to respect that kind of tyre choice and riding, Jack. Unreal.
There's Philip Neal walking down pit lane. And you'll be thinking, wow, heart in mouth time.
You don't, I'll tell you what, you almost can't work it out at what lap times they're doing. You've got to predict how quick he's going to be able to go on the drying track and how much slower the riders on the wets are going to go.
Well, it was, when he hit those drier parts of track, the difference was immense.
But even then, you've got to stick at your job. You've got to not waste time getting past back markers. It's, what a ride.
As he rides back into the arena in this fabulous amphitheatre, this beautiful setting deep in Kent. Well, actually, only 18 miles from the centre of London. Number 2, Josh Brooks acknowledges the crowd. Sean Muir, Javier Beltran, and Martin Halsall, a popular figure there, congratulated by
Alex
all
as well.
Alex Lowe, bless him, congratulates Martin Halsall and explains that he was trying to calm the lad down. And Alex, of course, still leads the championship into the final race, but Josh Brooks gets a hero's welcome from Stuart Johnston and Philip Neal.
So he should. Heroes ride that.
I still can't quite believe he was 21 seconds down at mid-race distance. You thought there's no way.
I've seen it though. I've seen this happen. And you know, if you're out there on wets and it's drying out, you're doomed. And you know you are. And you know you can drop 10, 12, 15 seconds.
What was amazing about Costello and Ellison was that they didn't. Costello rode some really strong late laps.
Yeah, they both did, to be fair.
So Brooks there gets laughed at something being said by James Ellison on the right of picture as he congratulates his rival. A rival not only for the race win, but also for that third place and the bronze medal in the championship. And here comes Lee Costello.
Another good ride. Wow.
It was when he retook the lead off Ellison. That was possibly the most impressive.
Yes.
Lee Costello, the rookie season then ends, well, it's not ended yet, but he's got himself the best result of the year yet. So the MC Insurance British Superbike Championship, race 2 of the weekend here at Brands Hatch, the final meeting of the year. Josh Brooks, Taiko Suzuki wins an absolute cliffhanger from Lee Costello and James Ellison. James Westmoreland goes about his business well in 4th place, ahead of Chris Walker's Quattro Plant Kawasaki. PJ Jacobson, Dan Linfoot, John Kirkham in 8th place, ahead of Jakob Smerts, who rode strongly in the later stages, as did the World Endurance champ Freddie Foray from France on the Samsung Honda. 11th, Howie Mainwaring, who was really fast early on the Qingdao WK Bikes Kawasaki, ahead of still Suzuki's Aaron Zanotti, best result of the year. Matteo Baiocco ran 4th at one time on the Rapido Sport Racing Ducati, brought it home 13th ahead of Danny de Boer, and Martin Jessup, fresh from last weekend's Western Beach race, with Michael Rutter, Peter Hickman losing out on the points. Carl Harris, Josh Waters and Barry Burrell didn't complete the race. And the standings, as we watch a slow-mo of a pretty exhilarated Josh Brooks, they remain the same at the front. 3 points separate Lowe's and Burns. Brooks has kind of cemented that 3rd place. Look at the difference there in point scoring between him and James Ellison after Brooks came on that late charge. Westmoreland in 5th, Kianari 6th. 7th for John Kirkham, and he has protected his lead in that Cup race ahead of Jacobson, Tommy Bridewell, who fell, and Chris Walker. 11th place for Peter Hickman, ahead of Dan Linfoot, his teammate, Keith Farmer and Josh Waters. Jakob Smerts, Howie Mainwaring, Baiocco, Rutter. Lee Costello moves up a place to 19th, ahead of Barry Burrell.
Well, we are here in Parc Fermé. It's a great Parc Fermé. You don't often have this much of a buzz. You can tell it's getting towards the end of the season, but also because we saw some great racing out there. Not least of all by James Ellison, eventually crossed the line in 3rd place. But James, you and I were just talking there, looking at your tyres, they are absolutely cooked. And you were suffering some real big front pushes.
Yeah, we did. Well, we were trying to make a decision on the grid, and we were saying, right, front 3 guys are going inters. So, right, well, we need an advantage over them at the start because we're so far back. Yeah. And the problem is if I'd gone with the same thing, you just get stuck on the dry line. So we said, right, just stick with wets and go for it. And then I think I got the lead on the first lap. I was like, yeah, I'll do. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, though, Lee was flying then. I had nothing left for him. So full credit to him for getting up on the 2nd place and for Josh for winning as well. I thought with being where I was, maybe I'll claw some points back on Josh. There was no one behind me for ages the last time I turned around. And all of a sudden this blue and white bike comes up the inside of me. I'm like, no, please, anybody but Josh. So, yeah, a bit disappointed to lose some more points on him, but obviously he made the right choice and rode well, so.
Hey, still a great podium. Despite everything that's happened, your tyres are absolutely cooked. I don't think anybody could have done any more.
Nah, they're rooted, mate. Like I say, we're all riding on at our limit, so hopefully the fans enjoyed it as well, because we put everything into that. So a big thank you to Milwaukee MR team and obviously all my sponsors, Timothy MR Express Coffee, Monster Energy UK, SRS Limited. Thank you, guys.
Nicely done. Off you go to the podium. That's James Ellison there, our 3rd place finisher. Now 2nd place finisher is Lee Costello. Broadest grin of the day, and quite rightly so. Lee, take us through that race from your point of view.
Well, to be honest, I can't believe it. I was sitting on the grid with wets on, and Larry was going through, had what tyres on, and everybody in front of me had intermediates on. So I thought, this is a road to nowhere. But straight away, first lap, I was just passing people out. They were standing still. James was in the lead. I'd seen James had wets on. So I thought, right, let's try and go with him. And then when we got to the front, I thought, it's obviously going to dry up, so just go as fast as you can without making any mistakes. But it's they are long races when you sat at the front of them.
It's a great performance from you. Take us just to the last couple of laps there, because the grip was going rapidly. You knew Josh was coming. What was going through your mind?
Well, to be honest, I was getting signs on my board saying it was a definite podium. So I was just trying not to make any mistakes. If I could lead it, I'd lead it. If I was getting past, I'm a bit annoyed at being pipped on the last corner, but what can you do? It's not like I was pipped by a club racer, is it? So that'll do.
No, absolutely. We've got to move on. We'll let you go to the podium. Well done, Lee.
No problem. Cheers.
Lee Costello there for Elsall Kawasaki Racing. Brilliant result for him. The ride of the day, ride of the weekend so far by a long chalk. One remembers Eddie Lawson coming back from 17 seconds. You had 19 seconds to make up, but once you locked on, it was yours, Brooksy.
Yeah. Well, to quote Ricky Johnson, there was only one line through those whoops, man. And
yeah, and you had to dip off it on that last lap onto the wets when you tried to go up the inside of Lee.
Oh, it was a wild race. I mean, normally in this condition, you know, you do your sight and lap, you look at what the track is, and you'd normally go bang straight with intermediates or even slicks. But I know from the weekend, as it's been going through, we've been on the wets often, and the track's been drying really, really slow. Normally it dries quick, you know, and this weekend it wasn't. So it was a real gamble. And I was watching what other people doing on the line. I was like, you know what, we don't have the championship on the line. Let's just go with my gut instincts and just ride on what we got. And midway through the race, I was like, oh, wrong choice. The track's not drying quick enough. And then all of a sudden I could feel my momentum gaining and gaining. I was like, this is going to be an interesting finish. And the gap seemed so big. I mean, I got it on the blackboard how far I had to close. I thought that just seems like such a big gap, you know. And then obviously the wet tyres were deteriorating at the end, and as the water was getting off, I could drive more and more, and I had to take so many risks on the wet spots to make the lap times come, but definitely rewarding for the Taiko Suzuki team. I'm thrilled for them. You know, we can finish out the year, maybe not champions, but on a high.
Yeah, another race to go, of course. We look forward to that. Well done, Josh. We'll let you go to the podium.
Thanks a lot. Cheers, mate.
There we go, Josh Brooks on the Taiko Suzuki. An amazing ride from him. It was a race that gave us so many highlights for so many different reasons. Let's recap them now with Jack.
Alex Lowes came off pole position, alongside him Josh Brooks, but Nori Haga burst through between them on bike number 41, the Rapid Solicitors Kawasaki, and then allowed teammate Shaky Byrne just to drop through into the lead over Paddock Hill Bend. And then surging up Halewood Hill, Brooks number 2 going for the inside. So too did James Westmoreland. He grabbed an early advantage as they dropped, well, cautiously into Druids. And then as they exited Druids, this happened. Just a touch between Josh Brooks and Alex Lowes threw the Lincolnshire lad down and out of this race. Then number 15 Matteo Baiocco running high up at the front. Nori Haga had an enormous high side. He's been there before here at Brands Hatch. And then down went Tommy Bridewell on the Milwaukee Yamaha. That was the end of his race. At the front, his teammate James Ellison was very much in contention and took the lead from Lee Costello on the Halsell Racing Kawasaki. But Costello was having none of it. He surged back to the front. A great ride then by the civil engineer from Bolton. And then this happened. Shaky Byrne running in 8th place, lost the rear at Druids of that intermediate-clad Kawasaki and limped out of the race. So the championship positions would remain the same. Lee Costello still at the front on that red and white Kawasaki. Runs wide at the bottom of the Graham Hill Bend. That allows Ellison through. He in turn runs wide at Druids and is stomped on by Costello. And a really impressive ride from the rookie man who just won that the Superstock 1000 race at Silverstone last year. But then Josh Brooks running on intermediate against these boys on full wets, caught them on the final lap, got the better of Ellison. Ellison looks over his shoulder, there's no one there, but Brooks is ahead. He tries to get underneath as they come through clearways into the Clark curve, can't quite make it, but as Lee Costello runs wide, Brooks surges underneath to score a splendid victory from 20 seconds back down the road, his second race victory of the weekend for the Australian.
Well, there we go then. What a great Superbike race. And we've still got one more to bring you later on this afternoon around 4 o'clock here live from Brands Hatch. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, though, we switch from the 1000s to the 600s. It's Super Sport Championship action next, but take nothing away from that man there. Josh Brooks on the Taiko Suzuki. What a masterful display of big bike riding he's provided. Plenty more to come throughout our extended live coverage this afternoon from Brands Hatch. See you back here for the continuation of that.
Race in the MCE Insurance British Superbike Championship of 2013 in conjunction with Pirelli. And on the front row of the grid, as you've already seen, the same tyre choice by the two main protagonists, and right between them Josh Brooks. The only difference, he's gone for an intermediate front tyre, though for a moment the way he was talking to James Whittam on the grid, I thought he might have gone for an all-round slick combo.
I've just heard on the way back into the comms booth, Josh Waters full slicks back and front, and now to me that's a mistake, because it may be the right tyre to have at the end, but you've got to stop on the bike until you get to that point, and well, I definitely wouldn't. Good luck to him, I'd say.
Alex Lowes, the explosive Lincolnshireman, leads the way. The 22-year-old Alex Lowes now has a 3-point lead in the championship after yesterday's race, ahead of Shaky Byrne on the Rapid Solicitors Kawasaki. Josh Brooks, Taiko Suzuki race winner yesterday, is third. James Ellison, victim of misting visors on the Milwaukee Yamaha, is fourth. James Westmoreland fifth. Yuichi Kianari is absent, injured. John Kirkham in 7th place, still has an 11-point advantage over Tommy Bridewell in 8th. PJ Jacobson, who was strong yesterday, 6 points further back in 9th. Chris Walker's Quattro Plant Kawasaki in 10th place. 11th for Peter Hickman on the Lloyd's British GB Moto Honda, ahead of Keith Farmer and Josh Waters. Now 13th, Dan Linfoot 14th, Jakob Smertz on the Paget's Honda in 15th, ahead of Howie Mainwaring, Matteo Baiocco, Michael Rutter, Barry Burrell and Lee Costello, who had his best race result of the year yesterday. Alex Lowes is in on pole position ahead of Josh Brooks and Shaky Byrne. The second row of the grid headed by Noriyuki Haga, who put in some scalding late laps yesterday, Chris Walker and James Westmoreland. The third row of the grid, Josh Waters on the Halsall Racing Kawasaki, fourth yesterday, ahead of Tommy Bridewell and PJ Jacobson. Row 4, Freddie Foray, the double world endurance champion, standing in for Kianari at Samsung Honda, ahead of Michael Rutter and Dan Linfoot. It's been declared a wet race, so these guys go with what they've got on. There's the two teammates, number 78, Freddie Foray, the 29-year-old Frenchman, number 22, the just-turned 23-year-old Alex Lowes. Josh Brooks won yesterday, fell in the closing stages of warm-up this morning. Shaky Byrne, the tension in that Kawasaki garage as he walked out was palpable.
You can see a few people doing burnouts on the line. That's just to try and get a little bit of heat into the middle of the rear tyre. That's just and you see how Josh Brooks there just testing, see how much grip he's got. You don't want to dump the clutch and spin it up, you go nowhere. That's devastating to lose a championship like that.
Alex Lowes, who was being spoken to, of course, the last person to speak to me was always Kurt Gibbon, his trainer and mentor, really. He said he wouldn't let me know what he'd said to him, whispered in his ear before he left, but there you go, that was, it hasn't worked out for them.
Here we go, so what we've got, is suffice to say, it will be the riders with the full wets front and rear who are going quick now. That's Ellison, Westmoreland and Costello. We can virtually be assured they've got wets back and front.
So, and look at Howie Mainwaring. He's obviously got some pretty sound wets on as well. He moves through there, picks a place up. So Mainwaring moves past Chris Walker into 8th place and then straight on past Byrne into 7th up Halewood Hill. Yeah, you're right, Jez. So that must be a full wet combo then.
Yeah, but we know that Shaky Byrne has a wet on the front and intermediate on the rear. That's going to take a little bit of time to get going and should come into its own should a drier line appear around the circuit, which it will.
And look at Matteo Baiocco on the Rapido Sport Racing Panigale, number 15, the double Italian champion, has moved through now into about 5th place. So it's all topsy-turvy depending on the tyres people have got on. And at the front, Ellison surged off to the front, Westmoreland in 2nd place, Lee Costello there from Bolton, his best result yesterday in 3rd place. Shaky Byrne 6.29. Alex Lowes pointing straight ahead on pole position on the right. No early apex into paddock for him. He's just going for an absolute Santa Pod getaway. But look at Norrie Haga. Haga bursts through into the front 3, but then just backs off and allows Shaky Byrne to get the whole shot ahead of Alex Lowes on the blue Samsung Honda. James Westmoreland also gets a brilliant start and buried in the pack as Westmoreland shoots to the front and really took a big, brave move up Halewood Hill on the Build-Based BMW.
Lowes is gone!
Lowes is down! Alex Lowes has crashed coming out of Druids on the first lap. Alex Lowes has gone down. He throws his arms up in disbelief. He can't restart the race. That is him done. Ellison amazingly leads it. Westmoreland second, Haga, Byrne. But what about Alex Lowes? What on earth happened there?
Right, I think it's fair. We'll see it again, but I think, oh, here we go. We'll have another look. We're looking back.
It's Josh Brooks.
He had a little bit of a coming together with Josh Brooks. You can't apportion blame.
No, but that was what happened. The two of them just went for the same line. Here it is in super slow-mo. Oh, what's happened?
He's gone down completely on his own there.
Was that after there was a little bit of contact?
There was a little bit of contact, then he went down afterwards, yeah. No, I don't think he can, yeah. Poor old Alex.
Oh, 6.23. That's the difference at the moment because Shaky is relatively downfield in about 7th or 8th place. The leader, Ellison. Second, Westmoreland. Third, Lee Costello, once again running up front for Halsall Racing Kawasaki in dodgy conditions. Now, James, if these guys could make enough ground at this point, as Josh Brooks told you he intended to do yesterday, then that could make all the difference.
I feel so sorry for Alex to lose a championship like that. He's just...
It's not lost yet, James.
I know it's not lost, but I'm saying, if he doesn't win it, look, here we go. I don't think there's any contact there between Josh Brooks on the inside and Alex Lowe's. The man who got away with it there was Costello on the Hasselbach.
Yeah.
Eh? Actually lucky not to get clobbered by the following pack as well with Alex. And his bike.
That was. Look at the two Batham's Hondas fanning out. Danny de Boer to the outside, Michael Rutter to the inside to avoid both rider and bike. Yep. Meanwhile, what is going on? Chris Walker is already making progress, as you might expect in these conditions.
Yep.
There is Walker. He's nudged through ahead of Shaky Byrne. Now Dan Linfoot is right in there behind Shaky Byrne. So too is PJ Jacobson. That is pretty much the top 10. But Shaky Byrne, there is PJ Jacobson just getting a sniff on the inside, moving through it. Oh, but not managing to make the turn inside Dan Linfoot.
Yeah, always a good note to yourself.